Hey, coach, I want you to picture something real quick. It's Monday. You've got your content creation block on your calendar. You sit down. You're ready to create this week's magnet video or weekly content anchor. And the first thing that you do, before you even write a single word down, before you even think about what happened in your coaching last week, you open Instagram. You start scrolling. You see what other coaches are posting. You see what's maybe getting engagement, like saves and comments. You check a few accounts that maybe seem to be growing faster than you. And now you're not creating from your coaching. You're reacting to theirs. Sound familiar? Yeah, I think a lot of us have been there. But here's the thing. It feels productive. It feels like research. But what's actually happening is you're pulling yourself out of your own work before you even get into it. So today, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. And it's this. Your marketing is the communication of your coaching craft. And like any craft, the growth doesn't come from figuring it all out at once or from watching what everyone else is doing. It comes from staying in your work and with the work long enough for the work to start teaching you. That's what this episode is about. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start here. The coaching content world is noisy. You know this. I know this. Every time you open up Instagram or any social media platform, it seems like another coach has figured out what's working. A new format, a new hook, a new way of designing a carousel, a new DM prompt. And your brain goes, oh, let me just do what they're doing. Let me study this for a second. And look, I'm not saying to never look around. You should absolutely be aware of the world that you're creating content within. I also like to understand consumption habits and see the trends. I want to know what's catching your interest and attention, and I want to create something that's worth your time when you come across my content. That matters to me, and I know it matters to you, but there's a real difference between awareness and absorption. And what I see happening is that a lot of coaches get stuck in the studying and overwhelmed by all the things that they find. And it ends up replacing the doing. Let me just see what they're doing. Let me just see how they're structuring their content. Let me watch how they progress. Let me figure out what's working before I actually try something. That's procrastination. It's wearing a strategy hat, but it is procrastination. And here's why that's dangerous. When you spend too much time studying other people's content, you start to lose your own instinct. You start second guessing your ideas because they may not look like what's performing for someone else. And comparison will disconnect you from your own instinct faster than anything else. The whole point of what we're building, the whole point of your coaching content signature is to capture your beliefs, your ideas, to sound like you, and to sharpen your instinct through your own repetition, not someone else's. Their frequency is not yours. Their audience is not yours. Their beliefs, their topics, their delivery style, that's theirs, not yours. And I want to put this in coaching terms for a second because I think it will click. Imagine a client comes to you and says, before I start working with you and before we start my program, I want to watch what other people in the gym are doing. What would you say to them? You'd probably say something like, their program isn't designed for you. Let's assess where you are, build something specifically for you, and trust the process. So let me ask you the same thing. Why aren't you doing this with your content and your marketing? Studying can absolutely inform, but it can't sharpen you. Only your own reps can do that. Now, I talk to you guys about this a lot, and I'll keep saying it because I think it's one of the most important reframes for a coach who's building the practice. Marketing is not pressure or other people's ideas. It's your practice. It's you coaching through your content. And to take that idea further, your marketing is the communication of your coaching craft. It's something you're going to develop over time through repetition, through attention to detail, and through iteration. Just like coaching, just like training, just like anything worth accomplishing at all. You get good by doing it yourself. You don't get good by watching other people do it. It's you, one video at a time, over and over and over again. So let's talk about what this actually looks like in your content. If you've been listening to this show, you know that I teach the weekly content anchor or your magnet video, which is your one piece of long form weekly content that becomes the foundation of everything that you share that week. It's what all of your short form is built from. I go deep on this in the buyer-led binge model episode and the minimum viable marketing system episode. I'll link those below so that you can watch them next. But here's what I want you to really think about when it comes to your weekly content anchor. It's not just a marketing task that you check off. Every week that you show up to create that piece of content, you're getting in a quality rep. And the first version isn't a breakthrough. Maybe the 10th isn't either. but the 30th might be, this is episode 46 for me. I'm still learning about my own voice, finding my own rhythm. And I couldn't have seen where I am today at episode 5. Each rep teaches you something about what resonates, about what feels true coming out of your mouth versus what felt clever when you were writing it down, about how to structure an idea so that it actually lands. This is where the see, make, say loop comes in. If you caught episode 44, you know this one. It's the creative flow that makes the blank page problem disappear. You see something in your coaching life, a client conversation, something in your own training, an observation about the industry. You make it into content by running it through your coaching content signature and actually shaping an idea. And then you say it. You put it out in your voice, and that's a rep. And then the next week, you do it again. A new week, a new anchor, or a magnet video. And what starts to happen is that the work actually teaches you something that just thinking about it could never do. You start to notice what you actually believe versus what you thought you were supposed to say. You start to see which of your ideas have the most energy. You start to develop instinct about your audience that no amount of trend watching could ever tell you. Bear with me here because I have a lot to say about this. Your growth doesn't come from trying to strategize and research and figure it all out. It comes from staying in the see, make, say loop long enough for that work to teach you. See, make, say over and over and over again. That's how the communication of your coaching craft gets better. So you don't need more ideas. You need more cycles. Create something. Observe what happened. Watch the game tape. Adjust, iterate, and repeat the loop. That's the practice. That's how we grow. And here's another thing I want you to really hear, because I think a lot of coaches or creators worry about this. They worry about being copied. They worry about AI. They worry about the market being crowded and other coaches saying the same things. And I get it. But here's what can't be copied. How fast you learn from your own content. You respond to what's working and what's not. And how willing you are to stay in the reps, even if nobody's watching it. That's your rate of iteration. And it is your real competitive edge. Let me connect this to something we talked about in episode 42 on content minutes. Remember, content minutes are the cumulative time that a single viewer spends watching your content. Not how many followers you have, not how many views you got, but how many minutes has one viewer spent with you. After 10 minutes, they're still a stranger. At 60 minutes, they're curious. At 300 minutes, there starts to build trust. And at 500 plus minutes, they're ready to sign up. Every rep you take, every anchor or magnet video you publish, every piece of content you put out, you're adding minutes to someone's experience with you. Those minutes compound. You're not trying to go viral, right? You're trying to move the right people from 10 content minutes to 300 plus as fast as you can. And the only way to do that is quality reps, one video at a time. With each iteration, your coaching content signature gets sharper. Your beliefs have more clarity. You realize the thing that you said in one video, you have more conviction about now. And 12 months in of a weekly video, you can articulate things in a way that just hit different. Your delivery style becomes way more you because you've done enough reps to stop performing and to start coaching through your content. That's originality. And it can't be reverse engineered by watching someone else. It can only be built from the inside out, rep by rep. Now, something I want to flag here. Don't judge the value of one single video by its engagement alone. I know that's hard. It's hard for me. But some of your best work may not be your most popular. And some of the pieces that perform well, you may not feel strongly about. Stay honest with yourself and your own convictions. The numbers are a signal, but your instinct is another. And the more reps you get in, the better those instincts become. Stay with me on this because I hope I'm bringing it together. There's a big difference between putting content out and actually paying attention to it. A lot of people can be consistent, and that's great. Consistency matters, but consistency alone is not the full picture. It's consistency with iteration that continues your journey to mastery. Let me explain what I mean by iteration. I'm talking about paying critical attention to your actual work, paying attention to the things that you're refining each week, watching the game tape and getting better. Are you noticing what's getting sharper? Are you catching the moments on camera where you lit up and your energy shifted? Are you learning from those things and implementing them each week? In last week's episode 45, I talked about approaching content creation through the lens of mastery first. And I want to build on that here. When you create content with a real focus on iteration each week, you're not just checking the box, you're actually engaging in the process. You're clarifying your belief and you're improving your communication. And something starts to happen. It trains your instincts, not just your marketing instincts, but your actual coaching instincts, your ability to read the room, your ability to say the right thing at the right time, your ability to notice the details. I've experienced this myself. The more attention I've paid to the details of my own work and my own delivery, especially with this show, I've started noticing how I show up everywhere, in conversations, in how I communicate with my team, and how I teach inside the OPEX method, and how I show up for the people around me in my everyday life. It's wild, actually, but it makes sense, right? Because you're training the muscle, and that muscle doesn't just work in one place when you're creating content. Here's the last thing I want to say about this. The early stages, your first couple of videos, it's not glamorous. I don't know if it actually ever is, but honestly, it shouldn't be. The early stages is where you just get messy, where you give yourself enough grace to just try, to be expansive, to be experimental. You get to try things and have them not work, and that's okay because you're just gathering data. You're figuring out what feels right, what hits right, and what doesn't. And over time, you iterate, you focus on your best ideas, and your delivery improves. But you need the reps to know which parts are good and to iterate on. You might even be really good in the beginning. Maybe you're just incredibly talented, and you might be watching other coaches who've been creating content longer and maybe aren't as strong as your natural ability, but they're having their moment. Don't let that mess with you. If you're in your unglamorous season, that's okay. You're being sharpened. And when your moment comes, which it will, you're going to come at it from a place that is sustainable because you're about the craft and not the crowd. So let me try to bring this home. The crowd moves fast. Trends come and go. What's working on Instagram or on YouTube this month may not be in 6 months. But your instincts, the ones you sharpen by doing the work, those compound. Those stay with you. You guys know the core belief of this show. Marketing is coaching before coaching begins. And if you really believe that the way I do, your marketing deserves the same commitment that you give to your coaching craft. Think about that for a second. You would never copy another coach's program and hand it over to your client. You'd assess them, you'd design something, you'd trust the process, and you'd adjust along the way. So why would you copy another coach's content strategy and hand it over to your audience? Your marketing is yours to build, and I'm here to help. Your coaching content signature is yours to sharpen. Your content minutes are yours to compound. And the only way to do all of that is the reps, the real reps, your reps. You don't become original or influential by thinking about being original or influential. You become those things by staying in the work long enough for the work to teach you. That's what the reps do. That's what your coaching content signature is designed to unlock. And that's why I keep saying, coach through your content. The magic is in the reps, not the spotlight. So here's your action item this week. It's very simple. Before you create your next video, don't open Instagram first. Don't check what anyone else is posting. Don't look for inspiration. Start with your own coaching week. Use the See, Make, Say creative workflow. Run it through your coaching content signature. Make sure it's in your voice. That's your rep, and that's the practice. All right, that's it for this week. But if this video hit for you, share it with a coach friend and help me spread the word. If you want more details on this episode, you can find the related episode blog on the CoachRx website. I'll link all related episodes mentioned below in this description so that you can watch those next. And if you're listening to this and this is the first time you've ever heard of the coaching content signature and you want the custom GPT that I built for you, which is basically like us having a consult, me walking you through the steps, but it's in AI, hit me in the DMs and I'll send it your way. It's free. Or if you want to build your coaching content signature, your strategy, and your minimum viable marketing system with real mentorship and help from me, that's exactly what I do inside the OPEX method mentorship. I get to teach weeks 9 and 10 and spend those 2 weeks going deep with you. You come out of it with all of your strategy completed, all of the assets needed, and the full minimum viable marketing system ready to implement. The OPEX method mentorship is where we go from these concepts we discuss in the show to tactically building together. If you're interested, that link is also below, and I would love for you to join one of our next mentorship cohorts. Hit me in the DMs because I want to know your biggest takeaways from this episode or from any episodes that you've watched recently. I started doing monthly office hours, so if you find me on Instagram, you will also have a link to office hours so that you can join that and jump in with me and a small group of your peers to talk about marketing. You can bring any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer. Keep coaching, keep creating, and I will catch you next week with a new episode.